Ladies and gentlemen, live from the West Coast, it's time for Ring Talk Live Worldwide.
Hey, yo.
For over 30 years, and still, your inside look into boxing and mixed martial arts.
You know what? As long as she fights at 135 pounds, I don't care if she's injecting a horse demon into her eyeballs.
Heard live around the world and brought to you by the World Boxing Organization. And now, live from the Ring Talk Studios in San Francisco, here's the host of the longest-running fight show in history, Pedro Fernandez.
Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the mighty Sports Byline Studios here in the city by the Bay, San Francisco, California. Yes, the man was correct. He rarely errs. My name is Pedro Fernandez, the reigning, the defending, the often imitated, but over 34 years never duplicated, undisputed heavyweight champion on the radio airways, folks. That's right. Defending that title now for better than 3 decades. Open phone lines around the planet. I'll have a guest at 20 minutes past the hour. No, not the Godfather. Maybe the Godson. Johnny Signorella of Las Vegas will be here with us. That's right, Johnny Sig in the house at about 20 minutes past the hour. So we'll hear from Johnny Sig, of course. He's got the pulse on the boxing world. We'll talk boxing in hour number 1. Switch to the world of mixed martial arts in hour number 2. Of course, the UFC rocking and rolling, as well as some other entities, of course, in the world of mixed martial arts. It isn't all about the UFC. For the most part, people think MMA, they think UFC. Yes, there are other brands. We'll discuss that in detail. Hour number 2. Once again, this is Ring Talk Live Worldwide, the Sunday edition. Of course, we come to you Saturdays and Sundays at 11 a.m. Pacific time, live here on Sports Byline. Of course, the Saturday show is an hour. This show is a 2-hour show, an hour of boxing and an hour of mixed martial arts. This past weekend, Saturday night, the WBO 154-pound title is on the line. Of course, HBO did this. Jaime Meninga, now 30-0. That's right, undefeated, 30 fights, 25 whacks. Came a 12-round decision over a gutsy guy, but not really, not all that world-class. Former champion Liam Beefy Smith. If you got to have a nickname like Beefy, you're not too good. 26-2. A draw in 14 KOs, lost a 12-round unanimous decision at the joint inside the Hard Rock. That was in Las Vegas, Nevada. You are tuned to Ring Talk, live worldwide, little tower of power to the break. Of course, we come to you live on Sports Byline, iHeartRadio, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, SB Nation. I can go on and on, but the bottom line is, coming up on the station break, you're tuned to Ring Talk, live worldwide, baby.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from Resort Release, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares. Once you've made that decision to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, Resort Release is offering a Better Business Bureau accredited way to legally get rid of your timeshare, guaranteed. We guaranteed to get rid of your timeshare payments permanently. Even if you've tried another company to get rid of your expensive timeshare, call now and see if we can help you. At Resort Release, you don't pay anything until you're ready. If you're ready to learn how to permanently get rid of your costly timeshare, make this complimentary free call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
He is the greatest fighter of all times next to me.
Darkest of night with the moon shining bright. There's a step going strong, a lot of things going on. The man of the hour has an air of great power. The dudes have envied him for so long. Oh, Superfly.
My late mother said never deny the truth, folks. The truth is not bragging. You are tuned to Ring Talk Live worldwide. You're inside looking at the world of boxing and MMA. I've told you I'm going back to Managua, Nicaragua. That's right. We're going down there the 30th of October through November 2nd. The World Boxing Organization is going to hold their annual convention, of course, in Managua, Nicaragua, the hometown of Alexis Arguello. And I've talked in the past about my relationship with Alexis, of course, a super featherweight, originally 126 pounder, 130 pounder, but they called him the explosive thin man. Andres Alexis Arguello Barroquez. That was his real name, okay? Born in would have been 57 years old. Wow, died at 57. Of course, that was back in 2009. And that was a little rough for me. And it's been a little rough, and I haven't explained it in detail. I haven't went into it in detail on the air, and I didn't write about it and things like that because it was personal. I mean, here's a guy that, he credits me with saving his life. He said that at the World Boxing Hall of Fame, the International Boxing Hall of Fame, I think it was about, 2004, 2005, something like that. Anyway, he told Tim Smith in the New York Daily News that guy saved my life. I said, whoa, I really felt good about that. I don't know if you know the story. Here's where it went down. Alexis was having drug issues. And drug issues, of course, bring on, mental lapses and all that kind of good stuff. So anyway, he was smoking crack. He was smoking crack out of a Coke can, according to his wife. So I've got his wife on the radio. I've got her on the air because I heard that he's having issues, and she reaches out to me. So we get this translator going. I think Louis in Las Vegas was the translator. Went back and forth, and she said Alexis is smoking this white stuff out of a can. Anyway, so obviously it was crack. So he finds out. He walks in on her while she's having the interview, and I hear a couple like Bob in the background. I said, "What's that?" She goes, "Oh, Alexis just walked in. Oh, let me speak to him." So she hands Alexis the telephone, blah, blah, blah. We go back and forth, and Alexis tells me in the conversation, I just want to die. Leave me alone. So I wasn't going to do that, leave him alone or let him die. So I went to Jose Suleiman, who was the president of the World Boxing Council at that time, the WBC. And the reason why I went to Suleiman was that I felt that Suleiman had cheated Alexis Arguello out of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, by making him sign with Don King at a point in time where he was a very hot free agent, okay? And he forced him. He said he would strip him of the title unless he signed again with Don King. So Alexis had to go with Don King. Bottom line is it cost Alexis a lot of money. So when I went to Suleiman, I said to him, listen, man, the bottom line is, you railroaded him into that contract with King. That cost him some of his prime, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think you owe him. And Suleiman says, well, what can I do? I said, well, give me enough money to put him into a rehab, move his family up here to San Francisco from Managua. And we'll put him in a rehab up here. There's lots of Nicaraguans up here. There's a Nicaraguan community, basically. We can put him in with his people. Okay, they're not smoking crack up here, but we can put him in with his people. So, anyway, Suleiman says, you better go down there and check on him anyway. So I go down to Managua, to Nicaragua. He check on him. I think it's like September of 1999, if my memory serves me correctly. And I get off the plane, and there he is, Alexis Arguello, like the Michael Jordan, the Muhammad Ali, the Bruce Lee, the Willie Mays, whatever you want, whatever comparison you want to make. He is the most prolific athlete in the history of Nicaragua at that point in time. Okay, so I mean, the explosive thin man, the world champion. Anyway, picks me up at the airport. We go cruising around town, and it's we're about half hour into our little get together. and I start pushing him on the crack. What's going on, man? I said, I heard you on the phone, and you want to die, and the old lady says that you're smoking stuff out of a can, this and that. I said, what's going on here, Alexis? I mean, come on, man. Be straight with me. So, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. I said, you have a problem? He goes, I'm not a junkie. I said, no, you're not shooting stuff in your arm, but you're still addicted. You're addicted heavily to this stuff. I mean, when's the last time you wouldn't say. When's the last time you wouldn't say. I said, man, if I'm here to help you, you've got to tell me the truth. Anyway, bottom line is we went back and forth for about 8 or 9 days. I sampled all of the country's fine delicacies, both physical and cuisine-wise. I just had a great time down there. I mean, being around him and this and that. So it came the final day that I was down there, and we were gonna the day before I left, and we were gonna have a confrontation, an intervention type of thing. In other words, we're gonna take on Alexis Arguello, the Muhammad Ali of Nicaragua. We're gonna tell him, listen, man, you need to go to a rehab. You got to stop BSing around. Blah 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 blah. So anyway, I get his priest. I get his best friend. I get his business partner. I get his wife. I get a cousin. I even had his kid there just because the kid was a baby, and the baby couldn't understand. But I wanted a kid there, just for the psychological effect of having your kid there. This is blah blah. Anyway, I thought this would work. I really thought I had confidence going into this that this intervention was going to work. I really was confident. It didn't. Alexis said basically what he told me the first day. I'm not a junkie. I'm not addicted, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I've heard this before. So he drops me off at the airport the very next day in the morning. He says, thanks for all your help. I really appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. My life will be better. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so I get on the plane. I go home. This is like September 1999. So come New Year's Eve, he gets arrested in Managua for a traffic accident. He was on drugs. So the Nicaraguan government said to him, hey, pal, either you go to jail or you go to rehab. And Alexis Arguello chose rehab, okay? And that's how he tried to say that I helped save his life. Anyway, the bottom line is he went into rehab, and here was a guy that drank bad. When he drank, he was embarrassing to be around. He was my guy. We're at the International Boxing Hall of Fame on a couple of different occasions prior to this one where he was sober, okay, the one after when he sobered up. When we were there, prior to that, like in the early 1990s, I had to pull him off of women and this and that. It was embarrassing. He was my partner, man. This is not cool. And we sort of looked alike too. So it was like the girl says, "Are you brother?" Anyway, there's a story that some girl thought I was him in Palm Springs and spent the night with me. There is a lot of merit to that rumor. Anyway, Alexis Arguello basically tells me, you've straightened out my life. I feel good about my life, this and that now, and I really want to thank you for that. And I'm saying, cool. That's all cool. But there was something that wasn't finished. It was unfinished business between Alexis and I, and I just didn't know what it was. It was like we looked at each other and we talked, but there was something that we weren't saying. It was something missing in the conversation. And I noticed that in Mexico City. In about 2002, we were in Mexico City for a while. Of course, this was a sober Alexis Arguello. Talk about night and day. When he drank, he was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It was like just totally different guy, grabbing at chicks and all this kind of good stuff. And I had to pull him off this girl, this writer from New York City, or at least she thought she was a wannabe writer, basically a boxing fan. But she thought she would get all friendly with him, and he wasn't going to get frisky. So anyway, I had to pull him off of her at Graziano's Resort up there in Canastota, New York, of course, the home of the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Anyway, so we go back to the Hall of Fame. He's sober. We go to Mexico City. He's sober. I see him in Spain. He's sober. And we had, went around the world, different places. So it was always a pleasure to see him, but especially when he was straight. And, not the first time. The first time when he was straight, he was just all dedicated to boxing. That was different. At this point in time when he was straight and trying to dedicate his life to the people of Nicaragua. That's what he told me. He eventually wanted to essentially run for president of the country. Of course, Nicaragua is a country in Central America that's been devastated by civil war and the Sandinistas. And basically the Sandinistas are in some people's mind, the equivalent of ISIS in Central America. But, of course, the United States government propped them up down there, took a whole bunch of arms for the Contras in Nicaragua and illegally funded a war down there by selling crack cocaine in the United States. Yes, this is all true. I'm not pontificating. This is all fact. I'm not kidding. Anyway, so Alexis says to me, I want to become president eventually. And I said, why? Because I want to do it for the people. I think I can do it for the people. I don't owe anybody nothing. I don't have to. I'm not incumbent to anybody. I don't have to bend over for anybody. I don't even have to take money. I think I could run and just run as a people's candidate. I don't even think I'd have to take money from any business entities, nothing like that. I think I could do it all on my own. I said, man, that's a lofty idea. That's a wonderful idea. But, the Nicaraguan government is pretty crazy. So he says to me, well, I'm running for mayor. I said, cool, mayor of Managua. Of course, Managua, Nicaragua is the number one, the capital of Nicaragua. And he says, I'm running for mayor, and he runs for mayor and he wins. And I call him on the phone and I congratulate him and this and that. We're having a good time. He's the mayor now. I mean, God, he's the mayor. And he's on his way to becoming president. And 6 months later, he's dead. And I don't know how he died. I mean, I know he died by a gunshot wound. Some people are saying suicide, others are saying murdered. When it's always a controversy involved, you never know. I hope to find out in my return to Managua, Nicaragua. October 30th through November 2nd, the World Boxing Organization Annual Convention. If you'd like to attend, you can. Check it out. The WBO is all about clarity. Go to WBOboxing.com and check out our convention schedule. You are tuned to Ring Talk Live, baby, on Sports Byline.
How I'd love to walk down that golden street, hand in hand with you where all the lovers meet. Whoa, I'd love to go to Loveland with you. Pretty baby, 'cause my love is true.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply. Subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
I think boxing is dangerous. Any man being hit in the head, the brain's a delicate thing. I think it should be well protected. If a fella's not qualified, he shouldn't be allowed to fight. But football is proven to have more deaths. Baseball, ice hockey, horse racing, car racing is much more dangerous. But I would advise nobody to box if they get hit too much and it's too dangerous.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
Woo! It's going to be good. We take it from the greatest to Las Vegas. That's right, Las Vegas, Nevada, Sin City, of course, talking about Johnny Signorella, who's got a pulse on the boxing scene. What's up, Big John?
Hey, Pedro, how we doing today, my brother?
Just fine. How's the family?
Excellent, man. Thank you for asking. Everyone is very well.
How good did the WBO 154-pound guy look last night on TV?
It looked pretty solid, man. You know, he fights hard, comes at you. He's got a great style, TV-friendly style, and that's what we need more of nowadays, man.
What do you mean by a TV style?
He throws punches. He's an action fighter. He engages his fighter. He shows a lot of sense of urgency in his exchanges and in those moments in time where it looks like he needs to come on and do what he's supposed to do, and he entertains.
So you think he's going to be the guy at 154 right now? Is 154-pound a solid division right now? I mean, because when Canelo moved up to 160, people sort of forgot about 154 there for a little bit.
Well, unfortunately, I think politics is going to have a lot to do with this. Everyone at 154 that's worth anything, Charlo, Hurd, etc., fight on Showtime. Right now, Jaime Munguia is fighting on HBO. HBO has everyone at 160, Danny Jacobs, now Deverenchenko, Triple G. So it looks like he's going to have to move up to 160 unless HBO and Showtime, who have a history to not want to work together, decide to work together for this type of fight. I don't know if there's enough money involved to make that happen at this stage.
You know, you can get – I keep telling people this, man. I got hurt moving up in weight. I mean, it just isn't – I mean, people hear me humming and hawing. I don't hum and haw too often, folks, but I just can't describe to you the trauma I suffered moving up in weight from 139 pounds, which was the junior welterweight division, to 147 pounds, where these guys I was fighting, these guys were weighing like 163, 167 when they got in the ring. I didn't know that because I just thought it would be like a few pounds, but Johnny was like nightmare.
It's not easy for a lot of guys. As they get older, it certainly is. But then again, you don't know if they lose maybe some of their punching power or speed. You know, you would think power comes up with you, but sometimes it's not the case because other guys you're fighting are naturally bigger, so they can take a punch better. But, yeah, no, I totally see your point. I always had a hard time going up, and that's why when I fought amateur, the highest I got, believe it or not, even though I walk around 165 right now, I was 147 was the highest I ever got. Lowest was 139.
That's just the way it is, baby. Cut that weight, get down to as lean as you can, as strong as you can.
Hey, absolutely.
I'm looking at these 54-pounders. Charlo, the aforementioned Charlo, now 31-0, of course, 28 years old. Jarrett Hurd, 22-0. How good is Jarrett?
Oh, he's good, man. He's a solid fighter. Very, very strong kid. The more I see him, the more I like him. I mean, him and Munguia would be a tremendous fight. I think they would go toe-to-toe, to be honest with you, and add for some, again, TV-friendly excitement. But, you know, again, I'm hard-pressed to see anyone taking those chances because, you know, Showtime wants to raise their side of the fence. HBO wants to raise whatever they got left over because they don't really have much nowadays, man.
Has HBO basically crapped out of the boxing business?
I think so, man. You know what? And I wouldn't miss him at this point, to be honest with you. All the drama. And
no Larry Merchant.
Bro. Well, I love, you know, he's my homie, bro.
No, Larry, man, listen, dude. I don't care what anybody says. I think that HBO boxing dropped a rung on the ladder as far as levels were concerned when they replaced Larry with Max Kellerman or Max Kellerboy. Now, Max is cool, but I'm telling you, man, I just didn't get it. And it's not like that Larry was doing who was the guy that was a show, Ferdy Pacheco? He wasn't like that Larry was doing a Ferdy Pacheco and doing some senile crazy stuff on TV. Larry was hot and happening, man.
He still got it, man. I listen to your show every week. All his faculties are there. He still makes brilliant points. HBO is just nothing about narrative nowadays, man. Like, did you hear these guys last night selling Jaime Munguia? Like, they were comparing him to De La Hoya, Mike Tyson, and George Foreman. Whoa, guys.
Well,
hit the brakes. Where are you going, my friend?
They're shilling. I mean, that's all they're doing. They're shilling.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Let's look at these other guys in 154. Jaime Munguia scores 30-0 now on WBO title holder. Kell Brook, 37-2, 32 years old, but damaged goods, isn't he?
Hell yeah, he is. I mean, look at the fight. Go back to Triple G, destroyed his face. Then you look at, you know, my man Spence, destroyed his face, you know. And it's a shame because that guy had so much talent. That Triple G fight going up to 160 to facing that maniac
Nobody
was
won.
a huge mistake.
Nobody won. When I was saying he was signing his death warrant, people were laughing at me.
Absolutely.
I was getting heat on that one, man. The guy's trying to. Larry Merchant even said to me, Pete, he's just moving up to make some money. The guy can't make any money at 147. Allow him. I said, Larry, he get hurt, man. He goes, all the fighters know that, blah, blah, blah. Man, I think that Triple G breaking his bones and that kind of good stuff. When you break somebody's bones in their face, I really think that you take the will out of them. You take the heart of breaking bones in somebody's face. I'll tell you this. I'll tell a little street fight story for you. A guy named Derek was the head of the Low Creations Car Club here in San Francisco, and I had whooped on one of his boys because his boy spit on my dog. I was whacking my dog. My dog was sitting outside the store all by itself. And I come out, and this guy's terrorizing my dog. What are you doing, man? He goes, that dog's a puss or something like that. So anyway, we get into a beef, and I beat this guy up. And I don't know who he is. He's some sergeant of arms of some car club. So anyway, this guy, Derek, comes up to me and cops a Sunday on me. I didn't realize, boom, 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 couple Sundays. So, I got up, went home. We waited 3 days until the swelling went down. We went back. We found him, broke some bones in his face. Guess what? He never muttered another word, let alone came at me aggressively ever after that point. So when you break somebody's bone, when you break the bones in somebody's face, I'm not talking about breaking their jaw. I'm talking about breaking orbital bones, things like that. You leave an impression.
Well, that dude certainly deserved it, man. That's a sickening story right there.
And when here's what's up.
He did the right thing.
And when I knocked him down, Johnny, when I knocked him down on the ground, I told him, I'm not hitting you when you're down. Get up. Get up. And these girls he got up like the third time. These girls got him up the third time. They go, Derek, you can beat him. Look how small he is. That was hysterical. That's what she said. Look how small he is. Yeah, right. Anyway, enough of that. Back to 154. Julian Williams. What's up with Julian? Julian the real deal, or Julian just another fighter from Philly that was maybe not upper echelon, maybe middle of the line?
I need a little more from him, because I've been burning the past. I get high on a guy. The next thing you know, you see flaws, and you're like, man, I should have pumped the brakes on this dude. I want to see him in there with some more, solid opposition, And what about Demetrius Andrade? Remember him?
Yeah.
Wasn't he a great fighter? Where'd he go? What's up with this guy?
He has some contract issues. He was with Al Heyman. He did some contract issues, right? He's one of those guys that got paid to be a free agent.
Yeah, man. It's unfortunate because he came right to mind when you just mentioned right now. I'm saying to myself, you know what? There's so many guys I get high on, and I enjoy watching, and I tell my friends, I'm like, yo, guys, check this person out. And then they go in the witness protection program. You can't find them. I'm like, come on, guys, get out there and fight.
So Amir Khan's at 154 now. What a mistake. Poor Amir Khan. Is he a walking candidate for CTE or what?
Who are they mentioning him in with next? I heard some rumblings that he might get out there again.
Scott Cuddy. They got him going up against Scott Cuddy.
There you go. You know what? I give Scott a good chance in that fight.
Because of the chin?
No, man. Amir Khan, I'm telling you right now, brother, he's got good hand speed. He makes for entertaining fights. But, man, he's been beat up a lot. Devastating knockouts, concussive knockouts.
But before Bradis Prescott knocked him out, he was a consummate boxer. I thought he was special, man. I really did. I said to myself, this kid's really going to go places. And, give him some props because he's made a lot of money.
Yes, he has.
A lot of money.
And he's still a big attraction over there. People like him. And, again, he makes for very good fights. And whenever he boxes really good, but whenever someone hits him, he gets puffy-chested and he goes for it. And unfortunately, that's not his best. That's not his best game, my brother.
32-4, of course. Amir Khan, 20 KOs, three times he's been stopped, and he's going to take on Samuel Vargas. Looks like in August. I'll take that back. September the 8th. Samuel Vargas. Vargas comes in at 29-3 at the arena in Birmingham, England. So I guess he's going to do his thing for 12 rounds there. Good luck to him. The best of luck to Amir Khan. I've had him on the show in the past, but when you have a chin that gets checked that easy, and I just, quite literally, he has a glass jaw.
Yes, he does, and it happens way too often. But
he is a consummate glass jaw guy, right?
I believe that, yeah. You look at him, he falls down for the most part. But somehow, during the fight with Mendata, he took some good shots, and I was like, wait a minute, is this the same Amir Khan? And Mendata could crack. So that was weird. That was like the one time I actually saw him stand up and take some good shots. Other than that, I mean, he got hit with a Canelo bomb, but Canelo was probably on the juice, the clenbuterol. Yeah, he got hit with clenbuterol power.
Well, after watching Lucas Matizzi last week, we're running up on a hard break here. After watching Lucas Matizzi last week and having all that praise for him going in, I don't want to put my confidence in any fighters anymore. That was pathetic, wasn't it?
Yeah, man, it certainly was.
You got to step in the you-know-what to get in it, and he didn't want to step in it. You are tuned to Ring Talk live worldwide on Sports Byline. Johnny Siggs is going to stick with me till the top of the hour. Open phone lines around the planet. He's the boxing expert. 1-800-878-PLAY. That's 1-800-878-7529. Of course, the guilt-free, no-commitment text line. The number, 415-275-1613. That's 415-275-1613. You're tuned to Ring Talk live worldwide. Tower of power to the break.
Let's get out of this hot sun into a nice, cool bar.
In a few minutes, honey.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252. Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
I got fired from my last job. Don't tell my new boss. But it wasn't my fault. All I did was stop working. When they fired me, they called me into HR and they were like, Michelle, it seems like you're just not doing your job. And I was like, yeah, but for like 9 months.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
You want to take a chance on that?
You know, that's probably the most innocent you'll ever get from Michelle Wolf. There's no doubt about it. Of course, the host of The Break. Actually, she's the star of The Break, live on Netflix each week. Johnny, you know who she is, Michelle Wolf?
I am not familiar with her, Pete.
Check her out. She's a bit of a gas. I think she'll intrigue you and the old lady as far as her comedy is concerned. You are tuned to Ring Talk Live worldwide on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. Hour number 2, we'll talk MMA. Guess what? We're going to talk MMA. I mean, boxing is MMA, right? So mixed martial arts. So Larry Merchant will join us in hour number 2. Of course, the Godfather himself. We just talked about him. I just got him on the phone via text. He says, yeah, we can do it. How about 12:10? Fine. So the Godfather will be here in hour number 2 of Ring Talk Live worldwide. Now, let's talk about the upcoming super fight. Is it done? I mean, as the athletic commission basically said they've allowed these guys, they're going to fight in September, Canelo and Triple G?
Yeah, we're signed, sealed, delivered September 15th, and I'm looking forward to it only because I'd like to see Triple G, put the hurt on Canelo after all the TMZ drama that has transpired since he popped for clenbuterol not once but twice back over the winter.
I attribute it to genes, and I'm not talking about, Levi's or any of that kind of good stuff. I'm talking about GENES. I'm talking about genes, because when that jaw of his sort of got real square, and that's a human growth hormone signs in some people's minds, his jaw got real square, and he had a body that was unlike any other Mexican I had seen ever before in my life. I mean, he just was ripped like you and me. He was ripped like he was on steroids. I mean, that's what he looked like. He looked like he was ripped on steroids. And then you add the acne in there, and the guy's in his late 20s, all this acne on his back, things like that. So the telltale signs were there before he tested positive.
I could not say it better myself. And you know what? So much pressure is on Canelo going into September because he has to look good still. He has to, now that he's, obviously testing clean for the fight to go on, he's got to look good against G. He's got to show that, hey, whatever happened the past couple of years or in the last fight in particular wasn't a fluke, although I do feel Triple G won the first fight. I just am so over all the drama, all the controversy, from Bird's scorecard in the first fight to De La Hoya going on Twitter with all these crazy rants suggesting this and trying to put the blame on Triple G for all this. I'm like, hey, man, this guy's giving your team so many concessions, and I understand that Canelo is the A side, but at this point in time, I am just so over it, and I really hope the Triple G that I know is capable to beat Canelo shows up September 15th in a very exciting fight here in Vegas.
Judge Adelaide Bird, of course, scored the fight 10-2, I believe, for Canelo. It was pretty one-sided there in her mind. Of course, I saw her on the boat. We were in Cuba. I saw her actually in Cuba, in Havana, Cuba, right into her and her husband, and she was apologizing for the score there. I said, don't apologize to me. Don't apologize to me. She said that when she watched the fight again, she saw it a little bit differently. Yeah, I guess you would if it wasn't a 10-2 fight. But here's what's up. Here's the thing with Triple G. I think he's old. I think he may even be lying about his age. I mean, he comes from the Uzbekistan or one of the stands over there, and it's very easy for guys to lie about their age in certain countries. In Cuba and the former Soviet Republic, I come to mind as far as guys about lying about their age. I always thought that Joel Casimir, the 1992 Olympic gold medalist, was like 95 going on 106 when he said he was like 28. I mean, good Lord, man. Anyway, they tend to fib as far as their age is concerned. I wonder if Triple G isn't older than he is, and has he finally got to that point where he gets old overnight? In other words, the last fight, although he won the fight in your mind, he didn't go out there and look stellar. He wasn't like he didn't look Triple G.
No, he did not. And here's what's up, man. Yes, I think age has a lot to do with it. Level of opposition has a lot to do with it, too. Danny Jacobs, before that, great fighter before the Canelo fight. Very, very close fight. I actually thought that fight was closer than the Canelo fight. And then, he's facing Canelo. He showed Canelo a little bit too much respect. Now, easier said than done. I'm not the man in the ring. I'm the one drinking a beer watching this thing and analyzing it. You know what I mean? So it's a little different. But for me, it's just like Triple G does, having said all this and considered it, it does look like he's lost a little step overall.
So when you lose a little step, you're facing a guy that's younger than you, but there's a guy who, of course, says that has had both the psychological and physical advantage of performance-enhancing drugs. And you know what? The experiences I've had with guys that have taken performance-enhancing drugs, I'm not going to drop names or anything like that, but once they were taken off the performance-enhancing drugs, yeah, I will, Manny Pacquiao. Once they were taken off the performance, Flintstone vitamins, he was taking them. But once the Filipino senator, look, he hadn't scored a knockout in like 8 years. He knocked out Lucas Matizzi a couple weeks ago, but he hadn't scored a knockout since like 2009. I mean, what do you think?
Well, here's what's up, bro. I said there was one point in time. Remember when Pacquiao fought Chris Algieri, knocked him down like 100 times?
Yeah.
I said there was a point in time that if Pacquiao knocked you down 3 times, it wouldn't happen. You'd be dead. After the first or second one. That's it. You're not getting back up. So that showed that his punching power really wasn't quite there. That was more about angles. That was more about him just doing him and getting the guy to go down from punches he didn't see. So to answer your question, there's no doubt that Manny back in the day, I mean, even I have to question last week. He looks a little bit bigger again.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I noticed that right away. And guess what? Maybe his legs weren't as great. He's almost 40 years old. That's fine. But his punching power looked good. He looked quick. I mean, Matisse, he looked scared from the opening bell. I could tell once that bell sounded, I'm like, yeah, that's a wrap. But, I knew Manny.
But you're a professional fighter, Johnny. Johnny, listen, I've gone in there with some monsters. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some guys that might say to myself, and you just bite down on your mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying? That's all you can do. I mean, you can't, in the amateurs, you can't select who you're going to fight. That's what people don't understand. I mean,
no.
You can't select who you're going to fight, man. There's no such thing as an easy fight. He's a hungry guy just like you.
Hey, part of my language, nuts and guts all the way, bro. What are you going to do? You're there. You might as well do it.
Exactly.
You know? And I tell you what, if you're there and you're just fighting very complacent, you're putting yourself at more risk to get hurt. You know? I mean, people say when you throw and, you open yourself up, but you're not protecting yourself if you're fighting very flat. You're very vulnerable. And Pacquiao, to his credit, he looked pretty good last week.
He looked excellent. Yeah. I mean, for his age and things like that. But then again, it was perfect matchmaking because, as you said, the other guy was scared. I wouldn't have been scared of him. I mean, I just wouldn't have been. You just, listen, you can't go into that ring. You can go into that ring real aware. There's a difference between being real aware and scared. If you're scared, you're already beaten. Look, at half the guys that Mike Tyson fought, were beaten before they got in the ring because they were just, destroyed mentally, psychologically.
They were done in the dressing room, If you look at a lot of those guys back in the day, man, they walked out and that was it. They just folded, And rightfully so. I mean, Mike was a monster at that point.
Well, hey, you know what? And Mike, people laugh about this, but I don't mind telling this story, although it's got a spitty ending with an H. Alex Stewart fought Mike Tyson, and before the fight, something was going on in the ring. So evidently, Alex Stewart cut like a wet fart or something like that. Basically, yeah. Basically, Alex Stewart dumped on himself in the ring before Tyson knocked him out in one round.
Oh, God.
Come on,
that's
man.
Amazing.
No, I mean, hey, listen, Johnny, listen, if Mike Tyson was standing across from me, I think I might. Because there's one. I mean, listen, if there's not a chance, if there's not a chance of winning, and you're going to absolutely get killed. It's like fighting a guy. It's like fighting a guy with a baseball bat or two baseball bats, and he's got 4 arms. You're not going to beat him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand that. I understand being scared there. Mike Tyson was scared the snot out of me. I used to say Mike Tyson was one of those guys that when you watch him in the ring, in sparring. I remember one day he knocked out 3 sparring partners at the Golden Gloves gym in Las Vegas. 3 of them, within 9 minutes, man, and they didn't have anybody left for him. They had to put him on the mitts.
That's the type of fear that Mike Tyson commanded, bro. I mean, you look at a guy like Stewart. Stewart's no chump. He fought Holyfield twice. 12 rounds, I believe they went, both times, if I'm not mistaken.
He beat Foreman. He beat Foreman that night in Las Vegas. I was there. He beat the snot out of Foreman. Oh, he just beat him terribly, man, and he didn't get the call. But that was a night I spent with the Hooters executive. That was a good night.
No kidding, man. But that's a man that could fight, and obviously he got it. But in front of Mike, it's a whole different story, bro.
Speaking of Alex Stewart, a professional fighter, never won a title, but yet he made about $8 million. A professional fighter, professional means you're making money. The Wacko twins, Dennis Rappaport and Mike Jones, of course, the guys that guided him, Jerry Cooney. They made him some money, man. I mean, like I remember what Dennis Rappaport told me. He goes, he'll never win a title, but he'll never be broke either.
Hey,
a lot of broke.
I'll take the money in the long run, man.
A lot of broke champions out there, no doubt about that. A lot of broke champions out there. So, the heavyweight division. Have we got a set fight yet between Joshua and Wilder set for April? Are they still talking about that? I guess they've got to go both win fights in between, right?
I hate the fact that they're doing an interim fight before this fight. I was so excited for this fight.
Don't hate it, Johnny. Don't hate it. You know why? Because they got to build this fight up. They got to build this fight up for more than just to entertain you. You know what I'm saying? In other words, we've got to reach into the masses here, and that means probably getting him on HBO here, and I mean you really need to push this fight. I think the fight sort of reminds me of a plant. You start out with a seedling, and right now it's a bit of a clone. And I think that if you allowed it to grow a little bit more, and both these guys had one fight in between, I think that we could put a wrap on that as far as the world having the world's attention. But then again, you know, Wilder, being the big draw that he is, can always go back to Birmingham, Alabama, and draw 7,000 people, while Mr. Joshua, of course, can draw 90,000.
Yeah, Joshua is popular over the UK, man. They love this and adore this man for right reasons, you know. Great fighter, intelligent person, you know, goes out there and puts on an entertaining show for the most part. The last two fights I wasn't happy with. Wilder, however, his last fight with Ortiz, man, that was one of the better heavyweight fights I've seen. We had two. We were lucky to have two in the past couple of years.
Speaking of Ortiz, Ortiz had those Flintstone vitamins. He'd have licked them. And plus, the referee pulled hey, time out. The referee pulled the hometowner that night. You know it.
That was weird. What was going on there, all right?
No. Folks, here's what happened.
Was that home cooking?
Wilder's all like almost like ready to go. So they're starting the next round. He gets up off the stool. He doesn't know where he's at. San Francisco, Louisville. He has no idea. Birmingham. Okay. So the referee goes, timeout. He called timeout when the round started, so he gives him another 15 or 20 seconds to clear his head, which I thought was a crock.
It was weird to look at. I even said something to the people I was watching the fight with. I said, that's a little suspect right there. But, you know, be that as it may, entertaining fight. Joshua Wilder, best fight, my favorite fight in boxing right now. I really want that fight. I think when the heavyweight division's healthy, boxing's healthy, I could not see that fight not being entertaining. I think we get a lot of explosive exchanges. I think we have a definitive heavyweight champion at the end of that fight. I don't think it goes 12 rounds. Okay. And the heavyweight division's healthy right now. I mean, you know, we got Tyson Fury coming back. It looks like he's taking it seriously. He's a great personality, great to have in boxing. It looks like Joshua's going to fight Povetkin, I believe, September 22nd.
Yep, 9/22.
And that could be a tough fight because I'm going to tell you why. You know, I've seen Joshua fight shorter guys before, and it's not an easy look for him. You know, and Povetkin, he's a strong cat. You know, he might be able to pull out some tricks.
Povetkin without the Flintstone vitamins is average, I think. I really do. I think, listen, once you take the Flintstone vitamins away from these guys, you make them a 6-furlong horse instead of a mile runner. You know what I'm saying? You just take it away from them.
I'm glad you brought that up, and we could bookend a couple of things we talked about. Talk about Canelo against G. Is that going to be a significant disadvantage? First of all, Canelo hasn't been in the ring since he fought G last, so there's some rust there. And he's not on the vitamins anymore. Well, so how much does that hinder his psychology and his physicality going into that fight?
His confidence, man. You've got to be able to believe deep down inside that you can do this. See, and with those extra added advantages, you know, when you're sitting in the center of the ring and you've taken some steroids, that guy that's sitting on your shoulder, he's saying, yeah, we took the steroids. We're ready to kick his ass, okay? And then you've got the flip side of that. When the guy that didn't take the steroids that got laid the night before, and the little guys on his corner going, you shouldn't have got laid last night. That was a big mistake, buddy. Johnny Sig, I got to run. All the best to you, my brother.
Pedro, thank you so much for having me on today, man. It was a great time.
Say hello to the wife. All the best. Johnny Signorella, Mr. Las Vegas, folks, on Ring Talk Live Worldwide.
If you need a little loving, call on me.
That's America, Pedro. Sports Spotlight. Hey, baby.
Said if you want a little hugging, call on me. That's what you got to do now. Oh, I'll be right here at home. All you got to do is pick up your telephone and dial, baby. 6345789. That's my number.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
Are you an inventor who would like to try to have an invention or idea patented and submitted to companies? But you don't know what to do next? Call for free information from InventHelp. InventHelp, a leading inventor service company, has been helping inventors since 1984 and has sales offices located in more than 60 cities nationwide. You'll want to talk to the company that has helped secure more than 7,000 invention patents. So call InventHelp. Even if you have an idea for improving an existing product and don't know where to go with it, you'll still want to call InventHelp for free information. You'll find out how InventHelp may assist you in trying to patent your invention and submit it to companies. So call now.
Call InventHelp at 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. Get your free information by dialing 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. 1-800-316-1738.
Results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services. If you owe the IRS back taxes, payroll taxes, or have not filed your returns, the IRS will get you. They can take your property, take you to court, even put you in jail. One call to Wall & Associates, and your tax problems are solved. Wall has saved clients over $150 million in the last 5 years. Our average client settles for about 10% of what is owed. With one call to Wall, you'll never need to talk to the IRS again. We offer free face-to-face consultations in your local area. Remember, Wall has a proven track record with a total client savings over $150 million. Call now for your free face-to-face consultation. 800-813-9940. 800-813-9940. 800-813-9940.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
We don't back down from nobody. Hold on. We can take it in the street if you want to.
Those of you listening on the American Forces Network, the Armed Forces Network, of course, the military listening around the world on the various military bases, I want to give a big salute to Richard Overton. Richard Overton is 112 years old. He is the oldest living World War II combat veteran. He turned 112 yesterday. So, Richard, God bless you, man. Thank God he looks strong, standing on his own here, looks lean, mean, drinking a performance, one of those, performance drinks like Gatorade or something like that. Looking so cool, man. Just looking so dapper. And I want to give him all the props in the world. Richard Overton, 112 years young. May God bless you. You are tuned to Ring Talk, live worldwide. Your inside look at the world of boxing and MMA. Of course, I touched earlier and opened the show with a special on the career of Alexis Arguello, actually the life of Alexis Arguello, what happened to me and him between the 90s and his death in 2009. But I'm looking at his professional record. What a record. I mean, incredible. Started out at 126 pounds. Eventually, he was 77-8, 62 knockouts. That's right. 62 KOs. Alexis in 77 fights, man. What a great fighter he was, of course. A great man for his country, and he's passed away. I wish him the best, but are returning to Managua, Nicaragua. The Private Eye, the ex-cop, is going back to Managua, Nicaragua. That's right, for the WBO convention. Of course, that's going to go down October 30th through November 2nd. And straight up, I'm going to try to find out what happened to Alexis. Let's see what happens. Hour number 2 of Ring Talk Live Worldwide still to come. Guess who? The Godfather, the retired Godfather, Larry Merchant, in the house to talk about, guess what? Larry Merchant, going to put him on the spot on himself. You're tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Stay tuned for hour number 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from the West Coast, it's time for Ring Talk Live Worldwide.
Fascinating.
For over 30 years, and still your inside look into boxing and mixed martial arts.
What the hell's going on out here?
Heard live around the world and brought to you by the World Boxing Organization.
Yeah.
And now, live from the Ring Talk studios in San Francisco, here's the host of the longest-running fight show in history.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! And Foreman is as poised as can be!
Pedro Fernandez.
Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. And yeah, the man was right. My name is Pedro Fernandez. 34 plus years now, your undisputed heavyweight champion of the radio airwaves. Straight up, we're going to switch gears to an extent this hour. We're going to combine both boxing and MMA. We'll talk a little boxing, of course, a little history of boxing with the retired godfather of the HBO, Chris, right? We're blessed to have Larry Merchant, the Hall of Famer, as part of the MMA out here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. So if you'd like to talk to Larry, the living legend, you can. I've got to open up the toll-free phone lines right now. 1-800-878-PLAY. That's 1-800-878-7579. Or the guilt-free, no-commitment text lines, right? You don't have to, come on the air, but you can drop a line or a question or an opinion, something like that. Or a barb, 415-275-1613. The text line, once again, 415-275-1613. So, the world of mixed martial arts still rocking and reeling over the fact that underdog and light heavyweight champion, I talk about Daniel Cormier knocked out, and he knocked him out. I'm talking about, Stipe Miocic. Stipe Miocic, the renowned boxer, the former Golden Gloves champion, gets knocked out by a wrestler. How do you figure that? Of course, professional mixed martial arts or the world of mixed martial arts, MMA, call it anything goes, whatever you want to call it. The bottom line is anything can happen. So many different ways to win or lose. It's like, that's why building a legacy, that's why heavyweight champions in the UFC, like the record's like 2 defenses. That's the record. And the UFC's been around since 1993, but the most a heavyweight champion has defended in a row is 2 fights. That's pretty scary. Not much for legacy. You are tuned to Ring Talk Live worldwide on Sports Byline and SB Nation Radio Sports.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from Resort Release, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares. Once you've made that decision to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, Resort Release is offering a Better Business Bureau accredited way to legally get rid of your timeshare guaranteed. We guaranteed to get rid of your timeshare payments permanently. Even if you've tried another company to get rid of your expensive timeshare, call now and see if we can help you. At Resort Release, you don't pay anything until you're ready. If you're ready to learn how to permanently get rid of your costly timeshare, make this complimentary free call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539. Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Now, back to Pedro Fernandez with the MMA Hour.
Check it, 12 minutes past the hour. You're tuned to the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. My next guest is one of the stars of Ocean's 11. I watched it last night and said, there's Larry, the Godfather himself. Larry Merchant. Was that the last time you did some TV or some movies, or you were in a couple after that?
Oh, I was in a few after that, Pedro. I've done 7 or 8, and I've always played myself.
Is it tough playing yourself?
Not really. The directors usually tell me to give me the flexibility to turn the words I'm given into my take on things, my sound. George Clooney was in that movie, I recall, and what's her name, the famous actress, who was terrific around the set. Anyway, yeah, so I did Ocean's 11, and there was a famous sparring contest that was a big part of the fight between Lennox Lewis and Vladimir Klitschko, that the heist went on while they were fighting. And everybody was hoping that fight would happen someday, but it never did. But Lennox Lewis did fight Vitaly Klitschko.
Of course, Lennox Lewis, that would be his last fight. Lennox Lewis will go on to fight Hasim Rahman, and they said that he was partying with George Clooney and you guys, and he wasn't trained, and he got knocked out by Rahman in South Africa. And Amanda Stewart told me he was physically and emotionally unprepared for the fight.
Well, I think that was the general consensus, that he stayed behind to help do the movie, that Rahman left earlier to go to South Africa and acclimate himself. So the upset didn't seem to be all that big of an upset, but it was a big upset, and which Lennox Lewis later avenged.
Okay. Speaking of Hasim Rahman, here's what's up. He knocks out Lennox Lewis for the world heavyweight title. So Don King's got him in his office. No, they're in a hotel in New York City, somewhere in Manhattan. And Don's trying to get him to sign with him. At the same time, Cedric Kushner has a $24 million check for him. A $24 million check from HBO for him. So Cedric's trying to find him. He's hanging out with Don and talking about Hasim Rahman. He ends up taking a duffel bag with $350,000 in cash instead of a $24 million check. Godfather, tell me what's wrong with that picture.
Well, my recollection is that King told him, "How do you know that check won't bounce?" A check from home box office, and it shows you the mentality of many fighters who come from the streets, and they'd rather touch $300,000 than process a $24 million check.
That was the most mind-boggling of all the decisions I've ever heard in the world. No, in the world of boxing. In Godfather, we've been around the block a couple times, but I can't think of a more asinine. I can't think of a more. I just can't think of a more stupid move that's ever been pulled money-wise.
Well, Don King could be very clever and persuasive and evil when it came to dealing with money and fighters who didn't know a lot about money.
Well, Mike Tyson, of course, he hates him. I mean, the hate is really obvious.
Well, Mike Tyson sued him, and I think he got $14 million in a settlement.
Here's what's up. One day I'm talking I called Don on the phone, and Mike Tyson's in the limo with him, and they're in Florida, and they're rumbling back and forth. They're having an argument. I can't talk right now. He's screaming. If I said okay. So what ends up happening was that Tyson got upset with King and started slapping King around in the back of the limousine, and the driver, I can't think of his name right now, but he was a big buff guy, big wide guy. He ends up stopping the limo and getting out. Mike slapped him around a couple of times. So this was all circled around this phone call I made to Don King that day. It was hysterical, but That's what happens, when you mess with Mike Tyson. He will make it physical.
Yeah, well, when Tyson signed with King, he said, I know he'll steal my money, but I'm going to sign with him anyway. You try to process that.
Well, but on the flip side, James Page was the WBA welterweight champion from Northern California here. In fact, I think he fought in the Golden Gloves the year before I did, or after I did. Anyway, he was the WBA champion, and Don King went to him with a deal to fight Felix Trinidad. He was going to get $1.8 million, but his manager was going to take half. Carl King was his manager, was going to take half, so he's only going to get $900,000 and break that down as trainers and that kind of good stuff. And his mother jumped in. James Page's mother jumped in. She calls me on the phone. She goes, Don King's taking this. I said, listen, where else can you make $900,000? I mean, where else can you make $900,000? So anyway, she ends up bucking Don King, telling me that I was in Don King's pocket. This kind of stuff. I'm just trying to tell you, where's he going to make $900,000? So anyway, he gets knocked out for $100,000 in his next fight.
Well, I'm sorry, Pedro, but out of a $1.8 million purse after taxes and expenses, he's probably ending up with $400,000 to $500,000, and there's something wrong with that picture.
Good point there. Speaking of money in boxing, how much money do you think will be on the line when these guys clash for the heavyweight title next year? I'm talking about Deontay Wilder, the undefeated WBC champion out of that boxing hotbed, Mobile, Alabama, and, of course, Anthony Joshua, who is going to fight in Wembley Stadium against, is it Povetkin? Is he going to take on Povetkin now?
Yes.
Okay, Povetkin 34-1. He's got some performance-enhancing drugs. That's going to be in front of 90,000 people. How do you negotiate with a guy that sells 90,000 seats versus a guy that sells 10,000 seats?
The way you negotiate it, you say the big money is in America with pay-per-view, and I'm an American, and I'm going to generate more money or help you generate more money in America than you can make from 90,000 people showing up in a stadium.
Would the Tyson Fury fight eclipse money wise a fight with Wilder?
It could. I mean, look, you can always double or triple the price of stadium tickets too, and it would be a big pay-per-view event in Britain. I'm not. That's a little bit above my pay grade to know exactly what they could generate. But if they perceive it as an easy fight to win, then maybe they take it before they fight Wilder.
Good point. We're talking with Larry Merchant.
They could also look at it another way. We'll fight Wilder. If we beat Wilder, we can fight Fury. If we lose to Wilder, we could also fight Fury.
Good point. And Fury, they could sell unlimited tickets to that fight, Fury and Joshua in the UK, right? I mean, they could hold.
They don't build stadiums big enough to contain the interest of that fight in Great Britain.
And of course, the Gypsy. They call him a traveler. Being a traveler, and he had all that money, was he really living in a mobile home? That's a traveler. Did Tyson Fury live in a mobile home?
I don't know where he was living when he started making some big bucks. If he was still attached to the travelers who were historically like Irish gypsies. Who live on the road, and he happened to come from a tribe of them who had boxing in their background, who had relatives who were heavyweight champions of the travelers, and so on and so forth. So he grew up in that world, but it looks like he had a hard time living in the outside world. By what happened to him after he beat Klitschko.
Good fight. Good point. Larry Merchant, of course, on Tyson Fury, the giant gypsy, getting his act back together as a heavyweight contender. You are tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. My name is Pedro Fernandez. One segment with Larry Merchant to go. This is Sports Byline.
Does that look like a fighter's body? Shame on you, my friend.
Shame on me.
Shame on you. You let Fat Man beat you.
can't stand it.
So, a fat man's beat him and relieved him of all his belts. I don't take boxing seriously, as you can tell. I don't care about boxing. It's mainly about getting a few quid and putting the food on the table. That's it. That's your professional, and if that's all a professional can do, then God help us all. Because what's the point in practicing your job for 40 years if you can't beat a fat man? So, credit to him if he can beat me in the rematch. This time he beat a fat man. Boom!
You're listening to the MMA Hour.
Boom!
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply. Subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Now, more of the MMA Hour with Pedro Fernandez.
Yeah. I was serious about the $350,000 in the duffel bag. Dead serious about that. Taking that, Hasim Rahman taking that instead of the $24 million check that HBO had given him. He had the check. It wasn't like he didn't see the check. It wasn't like they said, look, we're going to give you a check tomorrow. He had the check. He just didn't cash it.
Or deposit it.
Oh, whatever. But the bottom line was, and then remember later, a couple years later, a couple of dead bodies turned up in the trunk of his car in Baltimore, Maryland. So it wasn't like he had a $24 million life after that.
Well, it's a sad story of many people who come into the kind of money that they never imagined and aren't quite sure what to do with it.
Every time boxing has suffered a lull over the years, Godfather, there's always been a savior of sorts. In the 60s, It was Cassius Clay at first, of course, and Muhammad Ali. And in the 70s, maybe it was still Ali to an extent. And then in the 80s, we had Duran and Leonard and Hagler. And then in the 90s, we had Tyson and De La Hoya and this and that. Who's the next savior in boxing?
Well,
because Mayweather didn't do it
most
for
of the
me.
guys you've mentioned are Americans. And there are a number of really good American fighters right now. Whether they become stars or superstars in terms of being box office attractions is going to be fascinating to me. I mean, how many people know who Deontay Wilder is? What if Deontay Wilder became the heavyweight champion? Would it be meaningful in this day and age? I don't know. It's a question that will be answered sooner or later, because the center of the boxing universe, which once was America in terms of turning out elite fighters and champions and so forth, is now gone elsewhere, and now it's more of an international sport. And Great Britain and Mexico and some countries in the Far East, which doesn't always translate into what's happening here in America in terms of crowning great public figures.
You know, we talk a lot in this country about the tribalism in politics. There's really a lot of tribalism in boxing. We've got HBO or Showtime and ESPN and Bob Arum, and, of course, and Al Heyman doing this thing with Showtime. It's sort of like you've got these bitter enemies. It doesn't look like they're ever going to get together. So can we just kiss those big fights off?
I'm not ready to do that yet. In theory, competition is supposed to be good, and we have seen where rival promoters have been able to make, as well as rival networks have been able to make deals that benefit everybody when a fight becomes too big to not make. So that could happen, but until it happens, it hasn't happened in this part of the 21st century. So what happens in the next few years, because there are so many good fighters out there, will tell us something about whether boxing will ever be create a superstar and a mainstream stream of big fights.
The last time the networks couldn't get together was in 1996. It was De La Hoya and Chavez, the first fight. Chavez was with Don King and Showtime.
No, there were others. There was Lennox Lewis and Tyson, as I recall, when HBO and Showtime had to make a deal for the fight, and we both had. They tossed a coin to see which network was going to do it live and which network was going to have the
delayed
run and how much that was worth. So it's happened.
But the reason why I bring that up, Godfather, is that I banked 30 large that night. I did the closed circuit in Spanish. I was the only guy in Northern California to put this fight on the closed circuit. I rented a theater with 5 screens, and I threw 4 of them up in Spanish and 1 in English, and it was sold out, and I had a great time. And although the local municipality, the police shut off my beer sales at 7:30, that probably cost me another. Godfather, you're laughing, but it probably cost me 20.
No,
probably cost me 20 G's.
It just shows you, our entrepreneurial spirit will rise and conquer all.
Well, I brought in I brought in a taco truck in there. This is back in 1996. Taco trucks weren't on every corner in the United States, so I brought the taco truck inside the theater. I mean, I had the Corona beer going, the whole 9 yards. We were selling by the tap. I think the beer was costing me 35 cents a cup, and I was getting $4 for it. So it was just a wild, wild evening. And of course, the cops came in and ruined it for me at 7:30.
Well, you tell me then. You're on the ground floor there. Do you see any fights where you could repeat that episode?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Well, then you know more about it than I do.
I don't. I really don't. I mean, I don't think there are two fighters right now that could draw people to the theaters. Because, even I was thinking the other day about the Ali fights, the three Ali Frazier fights. We watched them delayed at movie theaters. We knew the results of the fight, and yet we went to the movie theaters and we watched these fights three times. I mean, the delay, we were into it. It wasn't on TV that quickly. So we went to, I remember the third one especially, the Thrill in Manila. I saw that like 4 or 5 times on Market Street at the cinema theater there, having paid each time. But
look, the heavyweight championship used to be owned by Americans, and some of them became massive stars. I'm not sure that could happen again if Wilder were to beat Joshua, but I'm curious to see how that will unfold.
Interesting. Larry Merch is our guest, folks. Of course, the retired Godfather from HBO, 1978 to 2012. How's the godmother doing? How's she feeling? Everything okay down there?
We're doing okay. It's another beautiful day in paradise down here, and we're looking forward to more of it.
No doubt about it. Now, Godfather, when you think about Southern California boxing and you go back to the days of the Olympic Auditorium, was that really I wasn't a big Olympic Auditorium fan. I fought there and I lost the state title back in like 84, I think, or 83. But I wasn't a big Olympic Auditorium fan. Was it really that hot every week, the fights there?
Well, when I came to live out in Southern California, it was already in decline, but there were some good fights there back in the day of the great Bobby Chacon and others.
The schoolboy from Pomona.
There is a big fight, a good fight actually coming up at the Staples Center where the Lakers play with Mikey Garcia and Robert Easter, a challenger who is unbeaten and has some knockouts, etc. And that's coming up in a couple of weeks, I think.
So what happened to the Lomachenko fight that Mikey said was all front, all going to happen?
No, I haven't heard that. I don't think anybody is too eager to fight Lomachenko unless that's where they could get the best paycheck, because right now he looks pretty tough. And maybe a Lomachenko and Garcia fight could become what I would say is a modest pay-per-view event after they've won another fight or two.
Interesting. Godfather, I'm going to let you go. You have a great, great Sunday. I thank you so much for your time. I feel blessed each and every time you do spend some time with us. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So do all the listeners, without a doubt.
Anytime, Pedro. Thanks.
The great Larry Merchant, folks. What can I say? The Godfather. I get so, I get a little, can you tell I get a little giddy here? I get like goosebumps and that kind of stuff. I just do. I don't with anybody else. I don't. And I've interviewed heads of state. I've introduced presidents in other countries and things like that. Big Pete. But Larry Merchant gives me the goosebumps. I just don't know why. Each and every time I interview him, I get a little bit of the goosebumps, which tells me that he's special. There's just no doubt about it. The Godfather is so special. And him and his lovely wife, of course, Patricia Stitch, that was her actress. Their name is an actress, but what a fabulous lady. She really slapped me around a couple of times and let me know what was going on back in my semi-not-so-mature days. So I like the Godmother and the Godfather out without a doubt for their influence on both Pedro Fernandez and his radio career. You are tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. Corkers, open phone lines all around the planet. 1-800-878-PLAY. That's 1-800-878-7529. Scott Cuddy is going to be training for that fight with Deontay Wilder. That's right. You know that Joshua is going to be taking on Alexander Povetkin for a version of the World Heavyweight title. Our own Scott Cuddy is going to be challenging Deontay Wilder in Mobile, Alabama for the heavyweight crown. More on that after the break. You are tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. No. After the break, we'll talk to the UFC. Of course, the UFC heavyweight champion and the UFC light heavyweight champion, both the same guy. Bit of a freak of nature, of course. Talk about Daniel Cormier knocking out boxer Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight title just a fortnight ago. You are tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. This is the music of Mannix, starring Mike Connors, former UCLA basketball star, on CBS late night Saturday nights.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252. Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low Cost Airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Started it off. Right there, rocked him. Sent to go. Domi and Guida.
Guida's pace is relentless. 45.
Get the head kick and the takedown. Maynard and Edgar putting on a show. Outstanding. Wow. Amazing that Frankie Edgar was able to recover from that at all. And he's got Maynard.
Now, back to Pedro Fernandez with the MMA Hour.
Yeah, the hard rock music and all. You are tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast. Hard metal. I hung out with a hard metal guy for a while. Remember him? Phil Anselmo, the lead singer of Pantera, back in the days when Pantera, of course, the hard rock band, had Dimebag was on the guitar. Of course, somebody shot him to death, I think, in Dallas or somewhere in Texas. They shot him on the stage. The guy was performing. Some guy jumps out of the crowd with a gun and shoots him dead, like on the stage. I kid you not. But Pantera, those hard rock guys, they rocked hard. I can't even tell you how hard they rocked because you wouldn't believe it. You are tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast, and we're talking about the UFC, of course, this hour, this segment of this hour, and of course, UFC just rocking and rolling. Not really. I think right now, I'm looking at mixed martial arts as a whole, and I think that somehow there's something missing right now. And the MMA is at a point right now that if it doesn't take a step up and if it doesn't recover, I think it's going to go back to being less of a powerful entity in the sports world than it is right now. And why do I say that? I just get the feeling, because you don't feel that magnetic feeling for some of these UFC cards. I mean, I'm looking into the future, and it's not something like where you've got to like, oh my God, I've got to see that fight. Oh my God, there's just not that there ain't too many. Oh my God, I want to see that fight type of thing as far as the world of mixed martial arts is concerned, and that is due to a lack of promotion and the fact that I mentioned earlier, the fact that you can lose so many different ways in the world of MMA as far as the non-boxing MMA is concerned. Full contact karate, anything goes, call it what you want, and in full contact karate you couldn't choke anybody, but you can choke somebody in the world of mixed martial arts. You can choke them, you submit them, twist their arm off, twist their leg off. I'll never forget when Ken Shamrock, a former UFC fighter, and of course a professional wrestler as well, but he locked Dan Fry Don Fry up in an ankle lock in Tokyo, Japan. It was part of a Pride Ultimate MMA type of card. Okay, they used to fight in a ring instead of a cage, but it was the same thing. Anything goes, right? So he slaps his ankle lock on him, and he breaks Don Fry's leg in 4 spots, 4 different stress fractures, and he wouldn't give up. That's pretty sick. Think about that 4 different times. Anyway, I'm looking at the rest of the UFC schedule, and and it's not a whole lot I get involved about. We'll get to the upcoming card pretty soon, but the next pay-per-view card, the one that you're supposed to get excited about, is Cody Garbrandt taking on T.J. Dillashaw. T.J. Dillashaw being the defending world bantamweight champion the second time around. Of course, T.J. beating Renan Barrero a few years ago. I was thinking, man, this guy's like on his way to like superstardom, but something happened to him. I don't know what it was. Of course, he might have been a sellout and left the Team Alpha Male guys up there in Sacramento, California, left those guys and went off to Colorado where the money was good. They were paying him to train over there, so he wanted to go where the money was. The bottom line is T.J. Dillashaw, good fighter, 18 total fights, 15 wins, a 2-time UFC champion. Of course, defended that title against the man that he took it from, Cody Garbrandt. Garbrandt thought he was in control of the first fight, said he made a mistake, and of course he lost. But, as I said, usually in rematches, the guy that won the first time won. If there's really any controversy involved, maybe that isn't always the case. But for the most part, if the better guy won the first time, the better guy's going to win the second time. So as far as T.J. Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt is concerned, Cody had never lost a fight before going into this match with T.J. Dillashaw a couple of fights ago, losing that title. Dillashaw wanted to do other things. He did not want to fight Garbrandt again. Shame on him. I think he should have went right back into the rematch. I think it was hot right then and then. And it should have been a real quick rematch. It shouldn't have been a thing where T.J. Dillashaw put this off, because by putting it off, he sort of threw water on the fire. What I'm trying to say is the fire isn't in other words, if they'd have scheduled a rematch shortly after the first fight, it would have had a lot of fire behind it, a lot of anticipation behind it, because the first fight would have been fresh in people's minds. So now the UFC is probably going to have to show the first fight on TV or on their website or that kind of good stuff to get people reinterested. But had they gone when the coals are hot, when the UFC wanted to go, Garbrandt wanted to go, but T.J. Dillashaw didn't want to go. Now the co-feature, pretty good fight here, but I'm not high on the champion, even though he is the best fighter in all of mixed martial arts in the minds of many. I'm talking about Demetrius Johnson, the world flyweight champion, 125 pounds. They call him Mighty Mouse, of course, born in 1986. One hell of a fighter. I can't say enough good things about him except for the fact that for some reason he just doesn't make it a lot with me. He's got 30 fights. He's won 27 fights of the 30, of course, 5 by knockout, 11 by submission, 11 by decision. He's lost twice, both by decision, never been stopped, had 1 draw, an amateur record, 2 wins, 2 fights. Pretty impressive, no doubt about that. The guy is just a stellar fighter, no doubt about it. But for some reason, at 125 pounds, he hasn't seemed to tickle my fancy per se. But the guy that he's taking on, Henry Cejudo, I like Henry. I like Henry. I've talked about Henry before. Of course, I think he was a 2008 Olympic gold medalist. I think it was 2008. Anyway, he's an amazing fighter. 14 fights total. He's got 12 wins. Of course, lost that first fight to Demetrius Johnson, and he'd only been in the UFC for like 6 months. something like that. He told me, they had a couple of fights, man. They put me in there with the champion right away. I mean, not that I wasn't going to take it. Not that I wasn't going to take it, but, it was a little early for me to be put in that deep. I mean, he was put in, like, shark-infested water, man. The guy didn't even have a life jacket. He was, like, just a couple of fights, 6 months in the UFC. Anyway, 12 wins, couple of 12 wins, 2 losses, 5 wins coming by knockout, 7 by decision. He is the real deal. He really is. And I think he's matured to the point, a former, as I said, freestyle wrestler, an Olympic gold medalist. He won the gold, baby, at flyweight. So I really give him all kinds of props here, and I give him a hell of a shot to be the guy that takes out Demetrius Johnson. I think he's a live underdog. I think he's learned his craft. I think he's smart. I think he's a better wrestler. I think that when this fight goes long and, it goes into the 3rd and 4th round, I think his youth, the fact he's younger, I think it'll work. He's only 31 years old. That's not old for a mixed martial artist. Anyway, I'm seeing I'm seeing great things for Henry Cejudo should he beat Demetrius Johnson. And right now, he's an underdog on the betting cards, but I'm going to say he's going to do that. Alexander Gustafsson, the Swede, remember him, former light heavyweight title holder, take that back, a challenger, taking on that very determined opponent. I'm talking about to be determined. That means, like, to be annihilated. Anytime they can't put an opponent next to a guy's name, the guy that usually comes in gets knocked out. How often do you see some guy coming in that was former TBD, or better than that one, to be announced? Yeah, TBA, to be announced, to be annihilated. How many times have you seen a guy that was to be announced knock out the guy that has been there for a long time, has been in the fight? This doesn't happen. They're looking for a substitute for Gustafsson, somebody he can beat. Women's strawweight bout on the card. Polyana Viana taking on J.J. Aldridge. Cub Swanson, very exciting fighter. He's on the card as well. Of course, this is the main card. The UFC's rocking and rolling as far as this fight's concerned, but not enough to make me, like, stop what I'm doing. And I want to have fights where I stop what I'm doing. See, that's the key. That's what you've got to make fans want to do. You got to make them stop wanting what they're doing to watch the fight. That's how compelling you have to make the fight. And you make it fight that way by striking at the right time, by having a little bit more promotional wisdom than I think Dana White has. I mean, Dana White's done well. Of course, he turned, like, a money loser, $34 million in the hole, into a $4 billion entity. So I give him his props for that, no doubt about it. In fact, the UFC sold last year for $4.2 billion. That's $4,200 million. That's a lot of money for a company that lost $34 million bucks out of the hole. Okay, they were talking about selling it. Nobody wanted to buy it back in the day, so they got stuck with them. Talking about Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta. Of course, they own the Station Casinos. That's sort of like neighborhood casinos. They're not really on the Strip per se, but they're off Strip in Las Vegas, and they own a bunch of those casinos. Of course, the Fertittas coming out of the liquor business. They used to run liquor. Their family used to run liquor, illegal liquor, back in the 50s and 50s, and in around Dallas, Texas, and Houston, that kind of stuff. I kid you not. So, from illegal bootleggers, just like the Kennedys, from illegal bootleggers to rich guys. I mean, those guys are filthy rich. They were able to sell the UFC for $4.2 billion. And guess what? Dana White got 10% of that. The Dubai government got 13%, and Frank and Lorenzo Fertitta split the rest. More power to him, no doubt about it. Smart move business-wise, because now you look at the UFC, and what's there? I mean, what is there? I mean, is there any? I mean, with the light heavyweight champion now being the heavyweight champion, looks pretty good for the light heavyweight champion, but what does it do for the game? And what does it do for the game? I mean, nobody looks at Daniel Cormier as some unstoppable foe. We look at him as a guy that was able to beat Stipe Miocic, and Stipe came up short. I don't know what was up with Stipe. That same old attitude didn't seem to have his nose to the grindstone here, and I think that was due to the fact that he was fighting the light heavyweight title holder. In other words, the guy's coming up for 205 pounds. What's he going to do to me? What's he going to knock you out? That's what he's going to knock you out. And I didn't think I didn't think that he possessed knockout power. But you give a guy 230 pounds and you get him to twist his hips when he's throwing punches, and guess what? Things will happen, especially when you're throwing with 4-ounce gloves. Hey, and that's what they do in the UFC. They throw down with 4-ounce gloves. So the upcoming UFC card, the pay-per-view event, am I hot for it? UFC 227? No. Even though I like Cejudo big, even though I like Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw, it's not worth me spending $70 on. Of course, the people at the UFC will get ticked off to hear that. But I'm just telling you, if you can go to a sports bar locally, one of your sports bars around the country, for like $10, watch the fight, maybe have a couple of drinks, a couple of beers, some fries, like wings, that kind of good stuff, and enjoy the fight that way. But $70 at home, to watch this fight card for $70 at home, I think is a bit of a ripoff. That's just the way I look at things, and I'm always looking out for your pay-per-view dollar. Always have. You know why? Because when I'm spending your money, I'm spending my money. That's the way I've done it for 34 years plus years now, and that's why I'm still here, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the radio airways. So as far as Bellator is concerned, good old Bellator. You know I'm hot on Bellator. I really am, but, they aren't consistent enough, and they really don't show, even though they're on Spike TV, but they're it's sort of like if you don't follow Bellator like every day, you don't know when they're on because they'll be on in 6 weeks from this state, and 4 weeks after that they'll be in another place, and a couple weeks after that. So there's no consistent programming, even though they've got Spike TV, or they used to have the former Spike TV. It's got Spike TV now. It's got to change its name. But the bottom line is they've got a good cable outlet, but it's not ringing the bells the way it should. Why? As I said, consistency. If they broke those cards they've got up into, and yeah, I know with the day of the internet, you really can't throw fights and put them on tape and show them a week later. But, I think the world of professional wrestling has done that to an extent. So if they can do it and get away with it, I think the world of real fighting can do it and get away with it because you're going to want to watch these fights on TV as well. Yes, we'll probably cut down on the viewership to an extent, maybe a slight extent, but still fight fans want to watch a good fight, whether it's on tape or not. If you haven't seen it and it's news and, can I say it's intriguing, fights have got to be intriguing. That's what boxing and MMA is about. It's intrigue. It's something that makes you think. I mean, you want to flip a coin. You want to know who's going to win. I mean, what's going to win? That's what's made combat sports different from any other sport. It just does. Besides, raising the hair on the back of your head, on the back of your neck when you're fighting yourself. I mean, that's pretty crazy. You're looking across at some guy that wants to destroy you and your parents. You look at that. You look at him. He's going, "Man, I'd kill you and your mom if I had the chance." Good Lord, what did I step into? The world of combat sports, baby. You're tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network, live worldwide from San Francisco, California.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Are you an inventor who would like to try to have an invention or idea patented and submitted to companies? But you don't know what to do next? Call for free information from InventHelp. InventHelp, a leading inventor service company, has been helping inventors since 1984 and has sales offices located in more than 60 cities nationwide. You'll want to talk to the company that has helped secure more than 7,000 invention patents. So call InventHelp. Even if you have an idea for improving an existing product and don't know where to go with it, you'll still want to call InventHelp for free information. You'll find out how InventHelp may assist you in trying to patent your invention and submit it to companies. So call now.
Call InventHelp at 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. Get your free information by dialing 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. 1-800-316-1738.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
One day you may find true love that will last forever.
The great Boss Skaggs, folks. That's right. Heart of Mine. Of course, the band that brought us Silk Degrees. That album is so more albums than like every album I think up until Michael Jackson and Peter Frampton. That live album he had. I kid you not. It sold like zillions of copies, man. It just did. Anyway, I'm walking in the studio today to do some pre-production work. Going to look for the cut man. And who do I walk into? Boss Skaggs. Boss Skaggs is walking out. And I haven't seen him like in 25, maybe 30 years. Maybe longer than 30 years. Because in the 80s, we used to play the pinball machines together side by side. At least we did one time. Up on Columbus Avenue or in a place called Portofino or something like that. But he knew the exact name of the club when I mentioned the pinball machine. So I was blown away by that. His memory was pretty good. So Boss Skaggs, the Grammy Award winner, Hall of Famer himself, in the house here at the Sports Byline Studios. Props to the great Boss Skaggs. Thank him so much. You are tuned to the mighty Sports Byline broadcast. Of course, this is Ring Talk Live Worldwide, your inside look at the world of boxing and MMA. Of course, we come to each and every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. It's 11 a.m. Pacific time. That's 8 a.m. in Honolulu, Hawaii, for my Richard and Henry out there in Honolulu, kicking it on the beach and listening to the show. Right on, right on, right on. And, of course, my friends, Socrates Palmer, the kid, New York City, listening in the Eastern Time Zone. That's 2:06. Actually, even though this show is scheduled for like 11 o'clock Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 o'clock in Hawaii, it actually starts at 6 minutes after. You know, the news, the weather, that kind of good stuff. So it starts about 6 minutes after. Bottom line is 6 minutes after 11, 6 minutes after 2, 6 minutes after 8. Wherever you are in the world, you can listen to Ring Talk Live Worldwide at sportsbyline.com. Just hit the listen live button. Hey, straight up, in a few hours here on Sports Byline, iHeartRadio, and a series of other network entities, we will go with No Holds Barred. That's right, No Holds Barred, of course. They talk pro wrestling, a little MMA as well, but pro wrestling, MMA, No Holds Barred, that comes to you at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. in the East. That's right, 2 o'clock in Honolulu, Hawaii. That's right, Sunday afternoon. You are tuned to the mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. My name is Pedro Fernandez. I know that you can be doing anything you want in the entire world. And the fact that you listen to Ring Talk Live Worldwide, I thank you so much.
'Cause I love